Oops, I'm getting
Welcome. I hope everyone can hear me and see my screen. Welcome to USC. This is the Viterbi School of Engineering. My name is Julie Leggett. I'm a Director of Graduate Recruitment here in the Viterbi School. And just want to say, once again, congratulations. I'm sure I'm going to be one of many people congratulating you on this big accomplishment. It's no small accomplishment. You have been accepted to graduate school at USC, and we're so happy to have you, and we hope that you'll join us in the fall. Today we have a pretty packed program. We have the chair of the Industrial and Systems Engineering Department. We have your advisor. We'll also have some students that can share their experiences with you. So I hope that you find this really informative and that can help you make a good choice. We know that you probably have some decisions that lie ahead of you. Deciding if USC Viterbi is going to be the right school for you. So hopefully this will help you to make that informed decision. This is a picture of USC and Tommy Trojan right at the center of campus. This presentation will have a couple of images of our school. We're very proud. It's a very beautiful place. And of course, Southern California is exquisite as well. So like I mentioned, you probably have many considerations that you're thinking about that are weighing on you for making this decision. And when we talk to our current students about what was going through their mind and how they chose to come to USC, these are a couple of things that they say. Actually, I'm not going to go in order because location is something that comes up pretty often with our students. And we are located in Los Angeles, California. It's gorgeous. There are about 300 sunny days out of the year. It's a vibrant community, very diverse. You will definitely be represented here. And you'll also learn about other cultures and backgrounds too. There's no shortage of things to do in Los Angeles year round. But of course, you want a reputable academic institution, and USC is that. Making sure that your academic goals align with your career goals. You'll definitely want to consider, what about this program is going to help you in your future and in your career. USC has many different resources that are going to help you along that way, and making sure that you are getting the education that you really hope for and that is going to help you get your dream job. The strength of the university's alumni network is also really important. And here we have the Trojan family that you may have heard of. And if you haven't, it's a very real thing. I talk to students a lot about the power of our Trojan network, and you'll get to hear from some students later on about their experiences, because I feel like that's the true testament, how students were able to engage the alumni network and the advice that they receive from the alumni. And then research opportunities. We say if interested, but even if you're not thinking about doing research, USC Viterbi is a top research institution, which means there's cutting edge research going on. And even if you don't take part in that research, there's seminars and workshops and talks that you can attend. And so by association, you will be learning about this research. You'll learn the jargon, you'll learn, the industry speak, and that's going to also help to prepare you for industry. So these are some of the things that you might think of. Here we have Los Angeles, and where we're located centrally downtown. We are about 2 miles away from downtown LA Live. So that's that picture, the top right. Not too far away at all is the beach. So probably about a 25 to 30-minute drive. And then we also have the mountains. So you can reach all these places within the same day. They're all very, very close and centrally located. And we also have what's called Silicon Beach, which is very close to us as well. So you can see ISI and ICT are highlighted here. These are our campuses in Silicon Beach. ISI is our Information Sciences Institute, and ICT is our Institute for Creative Technologies. And you can see it's right in the middle of this hub, right? This technological hub. You have startups and you have branches of very, well-known companies. And so Silicon Beach is the place to be, and you're going to be centrally located right in there. We have shuttles that go from campus to these campuses every day. So if you're doing some research on these campuses, we'll help you with that too. I should say that Los Angeles hires more engineers than any other country in the US. So definitely you have these resources when you're a Trojan here. I also want to talk about our Viterbi Career Connections. This is our career center that is specifically for our engineering students, and they have no shortage of resources. They have the Viterbi Career Gateway, which is where you're going to see all the postings for all the different careers that you could be eligible for and you can apply to. We have 2 career and internship expos each fall and spring semester, where tons of employers come to recruit our Viterbi students. Many signature events where we bring industry to come and network with our students. You can do internships for credit, absolutely. Advising workshops where you can bring in your resume and your cover letter and get advice on how to make that better and stronger and more competitive. There's job and internship toolkit where you can use AI resources that we have to help to make your profile stronger. International student career resources. We know that our international students have, very strict guidelines, and you need to be compliant, you know, to keep your visas. And so we are fully aware and we will help with that. And I think there's just tons, if you have, you know, offers and you need negotiation help, if you want career exploration, our Career Center is a great resource for that. And then here are just a couple of different things that our Career Center has put on recently. We've had talks with SpaceX. We call them Trojan Talks. We have mock interviews where people from the industry will come and tell our students, you know, what they're looking for. They'll ask for your pitch, and then they'll give you advice and feedback on your pitch. There's the Viterbi Trek, which took place not too long ago, where we take a group of students and take them to different companies. So all these things are going to help you and to keep you relevant within this industry. Career outcomes. A lot of times students ask, what kinds of companies do our students, you know, get jobs at? And these are going to be on our website. Many of you probably have already found them. But if you look up your specific program that you're interested in or that you've been admitted to, there's something on the side that says career outcomes, and you can see a snapshot here. There's many places where our students get hired into. So each year around commencement, we ask our students, you know, where are you going? What job do you have? And from that survey, this is how we populate this career outcomes page. We also have a really diverse community. So here you can just kind of see, we have students from all over the world, about 100 countries represented in our Viterbi School alone. So it's really just a vibrant community. You're going to meet other cultures, you're going to team build with them in your classes, and it's going to make you a stronger Trojan. We also have plenty of campus activities. There's no shortage of campus activities. Here you can see the band and tailgates, and we have night concerts, and just really a lot of things for you to get connected to. And all of that you can reach by Engage SC, which is our platform for engagement. You'll get to see, you know, what volunteer opportunities are available, what student organizations are available to join, just all the different campus activities. That's going to be your tool to get through that. We also have the Viterbi Graduate Student Association, which is the largest student organization on our USC campus. And so our Viterbi graduate students have just a really great presence at USC, and there's lots of activities for our Viterbi students. You can see Meta had a fireside chat. This was our Holy celebration. It's just a really fun community. One more thing I want to mention is our mentorship program. So we know that our Viterbi students come from very different backgrounds, and many from different places around the globe. And so when you get here, we want to make sure that you have the resources and advice from current students. So with this mentorship program, you get paired with a current student who's going to help answer your questions, who's going to tell you, you know, what are the best places to eat, and just be that friend for you right off the bat. Students meet with their mentees a couple times during like organized activities, but then you also have all those informal conversations and meetups and you know, text messages and things like that. So a really impactful program. If you do decide to come to USC, I highly recommend joining this mentorship program. It's optional, but again, you'll gain so much from it. Okay, the fall 2023 deadline. So we ask that all students certify their intent to come to USC by either April 15th or May 1st. You will find your specific deadline in your USC website. So that's yousc.edu, I believe. That's where you're going to see where your specific deadline date is. The sooner you submit that statement of intent, the sooner you'll have access to pre-orientation resources. You can join the Viterbi Mentorship Program. You're going to be able to connect with your department through academic webinars. You'll get to explore housing options. So as soon as you submit your statement of intent, you're going to start receiving a lot of information from us about things that you're probably interested in or questioning, or activities that you can join to get a head start. You'll also want to note that we have a new system for submitting your financial documents. It launched March 20th, so you may have already seen this, but it's called Trojan International. So this is where you're going to submit your financial documents. It's really important, especially if you're an international student, that you do it by May 1st, because then you're going to be set up to be in time to request your visa and get everything situated. The longer you wait, I feel like the more traffic there is there, and you kind of fall in the space of maybe not getting your visa in time by the starting of school. So you definitely will want to do this by May 1st. Okay, so what next steps can you take? You can take a virtual tour of campus if you're not nearby. This is uvisit.com/USC Engineering, and you can take a virtual tour of our campus. It's beautiful, and we encourage you to explore all aspects of it. You can explore student organizations, usc.campuslabs.com/engage/organizations. You'll get these slides, don't worry, or you'll get this recording. But you can start looking at our student organizations. There are over 1,000 student organizations for you to get involved and engaged with. 100 of them, or about 100, are in Viterbi specifically. So definitely no shortage of student organizations. And if you don't see something that you're interested in, you can always start your own organization. We want you to learn about campus safety and student safety and wellness. So here are some safety resources for you as well. We have a great public safety department that patrols our area and keeps our students safe. We also have health resources at our Ingeman Health Center. So definitely you'll want to make sure that you understand that these are here for you. They're, they are available for every student. And then for our international students too, we have our Office of OIS and Office of International Services. And so this is going to answer all of those questions that you may have so that you do stay compliant with your visa. And then we're also going to plug our Unibuddy system. So this is a place where you can chat with current students who are dying to chat with you. You can filter by your major, you can filter by your home country, and talk to current students and ask them your questions. Ask them, about their classes, ask them about their housing and how they found their housing. They all are really friendly. There's over 25 current students in this program, so they're really excited to share their experiences with you. Highly recommend that you take advantage of that. And you can also follow them on Instagram at USC Viterbi Grad Ambassadors. So I think that's all from me. If you have any questions, I'm happy to look in the Q&A and answer them along the way. But you can also submit an email on our website, viterbigradadmission.usc.edu/contact. We also have our own Instagram, USC Engineer, and we're also on Facebook. If you're still on Facebook, we'd love to get a shout out there and connect with you. But I will now hand things off to your chair, Professor Dasuki.
Well, congratulations once again. I think you're going to hear it from every speaker, so I'll try not to overuse the word. But we do have a select group, but we do have a very low admit rate, and so you should be proud of your accomplishments. So I do want to spend a few minutes talking about the department that you've been admitted to. So let me share my slides. How many minutes do I have, Julie, on the schedule?
I believe you have about 15 minutes.
All right. Okay. Slide share. Oh, let me share the screen. share. Okay. Does everybody see it? Can everybody see the slides? So I'm Professor Dasuki. I'm the chair of Daniel J. Department of Industrial Systems Engineering. So I want to quickly go over the department and the different programs in it. I'm crashing for some reason. Let's see here. Okay, do you see me now and hear me? Because I think I crashed. I mean, it's actually, I've been on Zoom for like hundreds and hundreds of times since I've been on Zoom. That was my first crash. I've never crashed until now. So hopefully it won't happen again. So a little bit about the USC in general in terms of Julie presented a lot of stats, but I'll just throw in a few more stats. In terms of students, we have a rather large student body, both at the undergraduate, I would say split evenly between the undergraduate, graduate. We have about 4,700 full-time faculty, and of course, Julie mentioned a lot about this diverse student population and the location. The university is the oldest private university in the West Coast, founded in 1880. And a lot of that architecture you see in this picture here is based on that architecture that was very historic. So the theme across the university, although there's a lot of modern buildings, it meshes very nicely with the olden buildings that the university has. But particularly in terms of the department, we are actually very pleased that we became the first name taught department, not just in the school, actually in the university. We became the Daniel J. Epstein Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering 20 years ago. In fact, we became the second named department only by a few months. We would have been the first named department of industrial engineering in the nation. And the reason that's important is because the naming allows us to have a certain amount of resources that we can use for our undergrad, for both our master's, undergraduate program, and even our PhD program. And I'll talk a little bit about that later in terms of what the resources provide for these this gift provides. In terms of faculty size, as I said, the gift was given. We currently have 19 tenure track faculty. Because of the gift, we're going to be able to grow to 26 in that dimension. So our faculty size is growing. In fact, we have 2 offers out to very senior faculty who may join us in January. We also have full-time teaching faculty. We currently have 8. Again, we have offers out to, because our programs are growing and they're very popular, we have offers out to 3 others who are going to be starting in the fall. We also have some faculty who just do research and they occasionally teach for us, and that's 3 of those. And we have because industrial engineering is so interdisciplinary, we have a lot of faculty who have primary homes in other departments, but are very much affiliated with us. We have faculty from the business schools, faculty from the computer science, faculty from the School of Social Welfare, faculty from the School of, I think it's the Price School of Planning that's also associated with the faculty. So we have a very diverse set of faculty across a number of schools affiliated with the department. In terms of the size, we currently have 200, as I said, our master's program is very popular. So we have 850 master's programs, and it's spread across, I would say, 3 major degrees, although those other degrees are growing. And I'll talk a little bit about the differences between these degrees shortly. And then we also have 50 PhD students. Julie mentioned about research opportunities. I would say a good quarter of our PhD students came from our master's program. A lot of our master's get involved in research projects with the faculty, and they get excited about it, and they join our PhD program. So although the master's program is 100% structured for a working professional to use the skill set that they learn to get a job immediately after a master's. Some of our master's students want to do research and continue to make a career out of research, so they continue on for a PhD. Not a majority, obviously, but there are still some. Because we have a number of resource centers, even our master's students can be involved in research. we have the MetTrans Transportation Center. So each one of our faculty plays a lead role in each one of these centers. I play a lead role in the MetTrans Center. It's a center that focuses on transportation in the metropolitan area. And what's key about transportation in the multiple metropolitan area or an urban center is that you have both freight and passenger traffic using the same resources. And that presents some unique challenges, obviously congestion being the primary one. So we have a center there. We're the first center on that for risk and economic analysis of terrorism. It was a center funded by the Department of Homeland Security after 9/11. Now the center has brought in to consider all emergency events beyond large-scale emergency events beyond just terrorism. We were very fortunate that one of our alumni 2 years ago was instrumental in finding us a gift from Meta Platforms to create a center that's joined with electrical and computer engineering on research and education and AI learning. This center provides both research opportunities and educational support for the department. We have faculty involved in advanced manufacturing, and then we have another center in AI and society. So these research centers are prominent in the department and are led by faculty in the department. So we're here to talk about the master's program. As I said, so the most popular is the master's in analytics. So what is the master's in analytics? So the way we view analytics is it's a cross between data science, optimization, and decision theory. And so if you go to a typical data science program, it's going to be mostly machine learning and data analysis. Well, ours takes it a step further, and we know one of the bedrocks, and one of the things that differentiates us from many analytics is that we have a very strong optimization component, because optimization is the bedrock of many of the machine learning algorithms. Also, conjecture jointly with this is that since we're really interested in students who can apply these techniques in practice, we are very much focused in teaching analytics to make decisions. So we have a lot of courses that are focusing on decision analysis. And on top of that, we require our students to do a number of projects applying these techniques. So it's a very applied, although the techniques are very technical, the degree is very applied in the sense that we use real data for a lot of the classes to develop projects to do realistic analysis. On the other end of the spectrum is this master's in engineering management. So the analytics degree is a rather quantitative degree. The engineering management degree is really a mix of, primarily, I would say, qualitative, but it does still have a quantitative bent to it. But those interested in the management career, managing engineers. And that's, I would say, is our second largest program. In this program, it's also available on the distance. The analytics degree is not, it's the really only degree that we have right now that's not, it's not supported on DEN, although we're slowly moving in that direction with that degree. But all the other degrees, you could take it online if that's what you'd like to do. The third one is a new degree, Health Systems Management Engineering. And it's basically the IE degree and the analytics degree and the engineering management degree all into one, and focusing it on the healthcare industry. So a lot of the courses and the projects are health centered. This degree is brand new, and all the graduates in this job and this degree this year all found multiple job offers easily. The healthcare industry is dying to hire students in this program, and the demand in industry is far greater than the supply that we have in terms of students. The next degree is, I would say, it's taking your undergraduate industrial systems degree and teaching it at a more advanced level. The students, the most common job that most students that go into this degree are in the supply chain field. A lot of the or in operations, not necessarily either an operations job or a supply chain job. And because of that, a lot of the courses in this area focus on those techniques. And then the MS and OR degree, the main difference between that and analytics is the OR degree focuses much more on methodology. It goes much deeper into the methodology in terms of just the OR. It doesn't spend so much time on the data science methodologies. And the analytics degree has much more requirements in doing projects. The last degree is a design-based degree. It focuses on students who want to go and obtain a design job. So that's kind of a high, we only have one certificate program and it's in the health systems area. So this is kind of, it gives you a broad sense. And I'll tell you the best news that I give. Although you are admitted to a particular program, if you want to transfer within a degree within our department, it's relatively straightforward. So let's say, for example, you came into the analytics degree and you found out that you wanted to go do more OR type of courses, you can switch. For example, if you went into the I degree, but you really realized you wanted to do engineering management, you can switch. Degrees are flexible, especially in terms of if you want to transfer. And typically, I can't speak for transferring outside of the department to another program in Viterbi, but I can definitely speak in terms of transferring within other degrees within the ISC department. It's relatively straightforward. So if you're still trying to make up that your mind, you don't have to 100% make your decision today. Okay, so one of the things that you may have heard, and I know there's things out there. Currently, our degree program is 30 units. We put in a proposal for all our programs to go to 28 units. Okay, and so this is what I'm presenting today is at the proposed curriculum for the 28 units. It hasn't been officially approved by the university, and we probably won't hear about that for another 3 to 4 weeks, maybe even sooner. But all indications are that this is something that we might be able to offer in the fall, and I think it's fair to share it with you. Now, in terms of, I've seen a little bit of the questions. So in terms of the can the program be done in how many years? So it's really up to you. So most of our students want to stay 2 years to get the most of the experience. So the way that would typically work under this 28 curriculum is you would take 8 units first 3 semesters, 2 courses, and then you would take 4 units in your last semester. And that way it gives you time to look for a job, and because job hunting is almost a full-time job in itself. So that's the structure if you want to do 2 years. If you want to do 1 year, then it's pretty straightforward too. You could take 12, which is 3 courses each semester, and then take a summer class. And you can get out in a year. So it's really up to you how much you want to focus strictly 100% on your academics during that year. And if you want to, take, I mean, a 12-unit load it's a high load. I mean, it is a heavy workload. So that's why, an 8-unit is the more common, but you can certainly take 12 and it's doable. So that's typical. So that's in terms of, the plan in terms of how you would proceed in terms of a 28 units of workload. Now, in terms of the analytics program, in all the programs, we've kept the fundamentals and we've rearranged topics across several courses, but the fundamentals are still there. And we've provided more flexibility in terms of the students, in terms of the kind of topics they want to take. That's really the idea was to keep the core, but yet provide students more flexibility. And this is what the new curriculum looks like. So the core topics in the analytics course are predictive analytics, optimization, and data management. You won't see 530 or 558 in most data science programs. Those are quite unique to our program. Because we hear time and time again from employers that we want the new hires to know something about information management. It's a very important skill set. And you'll be surprised how many students were able to get the job because they knew that skill set. And again, the optimization is the bedrock of many of the machine learning algorithms. So you have to take one course from 2 different types of electives. The first type is really just a project-based class. We want our students to work with data and use data and analysis on a project-based class. So those are 3 different project-based courses that the students could pick one from. Then the other one is basically a course, an elective in some other technique you want to. We have text analytics, which is nonlinear, NLP, We have intelligence and business intelligence analytics, which is actually one of our most popular courses. Here you'll learn about Tableau and some other techniques. So in the core courses, you're going to learn about R and Python, but in some of these other courses, you'll learn some of the other popular software that people are using. Simulation is in both areas, and data mining is another very popular area. And you will also be allowed to take 2 electives, 4 units. So you could pick these electives from the Group A and Group B courses, or you could pick them from anywhere else you choose to. But this, in a nutshell, is the analytics degree. The engineering management degree, again, we've maintained our core required courses and statistics. We believe that any engineering management must know something about statistics. We live in the world of data, and you have to understand how do you do data analysis. Engineering project manager. Actually, we were at our alumni mixer this last Tuesday. No, it was last week sometime. I don't remember the date, but anyway, it doesn't matter. The number 1 job title of the alumni was project managers. Literally, I can't give you an exact number that had that title, but it was amazing how many of our former students have transitioned into that role. And so you have to know something about engineering project management. Since this is a degree in engineering management, you have to learn something about how you lead a team of engineers. All project management will have to come down to a financial decision. It either comes down to a make or break financial decision. And so with 561, you will learn how to use basically how to use engineering economics to make, I would say, either make a project a go or a no-go based on the rate of return of the project or any other type of technique. We also believe technology, we're in the age of technology, and so you have an elective in terms of technology. We also have 8 units of advisor-approved electives. Now here, I want to stop here because I can anticipate some of the questions because I've been told a lot of the questions from engineering management students. A lot of our current students take 12 units from Marshall. And this new curriculum can accommodate that. How? We've allowed in the system that you have 8 units of credit and you have this 4-unit technology course. So if you're going to take the Marshall 12 units, especially the global supply chain certificate for this 12 units, you could do it in this new proposed degree, like you're using the 8 units from the approved electives, and we would waive 4 units from the technology elective. So if you're still interested in those 12 units from Marshall, the new program would accommodate it. You would take the 16 required courses and then 12 units that are from Marshall. So so when we made these changes, what we did look at, and what we did very careful, is looking at what our current students are doing and making sure that the new curriculum can accommodate what they would like to do. The health, I won't spend so much time on this, but the health systems management engineering program is really geared for those who want to work in the healthcare industry. This is the key here. This is for students who want to work with the healthcare industry. There's courses in analytics in it. There's courses on engineering management in it. There's courses on how we manage a system operationally effectively, but it's all geared towards health systems. The question that I saw earlier in one of the pre-questions was, how is it different from the health systems data analytics degree? Primary difference is that we focus on more than just data analytics in this course. We focus on operations, how to effectively improve the operations of a healthcare organization, how do we effectively manage it, and we also look at some of the health. One of the courses, 505, actually looks at medical decision making and modeling for health policy. So it's a much broader degree than the healthcare analytics degree. Okay, so this, again, I said earlier, is a program it's the Master's Industrial Degree, and it's most of our students who go this route tend to go to supply chain or an operations career. And you can see where the courses are geared for that. You have courses on inventory systems, scheduling, and then we have a course that's more of a methodological course, which deepens your. So a lot of the inventory models, production models are based on optimization or stochastic techniques. So we have you take some of these courses so that way you understand some of the methodologies behind the tools that are used in this industry. Then we also have an elective in quality and operations and one on engineering management. And then you have also one free elective. The OR degree, the main difference between this and the analytics degree is this focuses much more on methodology and much less on data analysis. So if you really want to go deep in the methodologies in OR, this is the program. As you can see, it does both stochastic processes, linear programming, simulation, network flows, and then a whole bunch of elective courses that go deeper in methodologies. This is a program that's much more suited for those who want to go work in design. I won't go too much deep on this, but if you see the two core courses, they are much more focused on how do you improve the design process to create creative products. Part of this also assumes that you need to understand how you manage a team of designers. And that's where the management specialization track kicks in. So you saw a little bit from Julie where the alumni go and work. I also have some data regarding that. They work everywhere. They work. Consulting is a big area where students go. They go to almost all the big four. I don't have PwC up here, but they go to them equally. Oh, I do have PwC up here. KPMG, EY, which one I don't have? I don't have EY, KPMG, Deloitte, but they go to Deloitte just as equally as all of them. In fact, they may go to Deloitte more. They go into the logistics, transportation sector, UPS, and Amazon. I guess Amazon, you could think of as technology and logistics at the same time. Like all the technology companies hire our students, Apple, Uber, Microsoft. You'd be surprised the number of our students go into entertainment. They go to Disney, NBC, and of course they go to manufacturers like Boeing, SpaceX, and so on. So it's very broad. Our students are everywhere. And so far, they've had a big impact in the industry. And with that, I will stop. Now, will we do the question and answers now, or should we proceed to the advisors and students?
No, definitely. I would love for if the students that are listening have specific questions, please put them in the Q&A and we can try to answer those. I think now would be a great time. I do see one question specifically for the analytics masters. Do we have an option to take data science courses for their electives?
Yes, you can. Yeah, that's very common.
We'll give them a couple of seconds in case they're writing. Is the HSME program a lot more restrictive?
Well, I would not say it's restrictive. It's a very broad degree, but the amount of electives you have is less than the other degrees because it is really focused and wants the students to take courses that are healthcare based. And so is it restrictive in terms of job prospects? I would say if you're not interested in a healthcare career, then that's not the degree to take. But if you're interested in a healthcare degree, it is literally, it's like a passport into that field because the industry recognizes they need students with that skill set. And with the fact that you have that label, especially from USC, because we have people who are running this program are very connected, extremely connected in the industry. And once you have the blessing from these people, getting into the job market is not that hard.
It says, oh, go ahead. please.
I know. So for the ORMS, are there courses that focus on machine learning? So for the OR masters, that you could take you could take our own predictive analytics, which covers a lot of the machine learning topics. It depends on which machine learning technique, but you could take the analytics courses, our own analytics courses as electives. Or you can also take some of the electives from the data science program there. So that's that question. I'm confused between choosing Dartmouth and USC. Any plus points? Okay, I don't know much about the Dartmouth program, so I can't say. I will say about our own program is that I would say the number one selling point of our program. There's actually two big points actually, and I've been asked to compare, and I've looked at other programs. Our students take courses. So a lot of engineering management programs, they offer business type courses, but they're not taught by the business school. They're taught by the engineering school. They find somebody. Our business courses that the students take are actually taught by the Marshall faculty. So one is we differentiate between the engineering and the business. We control the engineering content, and we teach them, and we allow our students, and they get into courses over there in Marshall. That's one. Number two, and I think just as important, is a lot of these programs that don't, and I think I don't want to say about Dartmouth because I don't want to. I'm pretty sure it's true for them. Almost like 99% is true for them. They don't have a department that focuses on these techniques. It's just it's a school level interdisciplinary kind of degree. At USC, we have an industrial system engineering department, and we have faculty who are full-time who focus on this technique. So if you want to work with faculty on research projects, they're full-time, and they have an appointment in the department. That's quite. I know for students, it's kind of hard to differentiate the nuances, but it's a big difference to have a department with faculty who are housed in that department to hold a degree versus just an interdisciplinary degree that's across the entire school, which doesn't have a natural home. Okay, can we offer a thesis in engineering management? You can offer a thesis in any of the degrees, but to be honest, what most students do instead of a thesis is they'll take a directed research. Because it's less restrictive, but you get basically the same kind of idea. You can get that research experience. And then can students within the department of engineering take? Yes, they could definitely take electives from the Marshall. What are the job roles that can be taken up after completing MS Analytics? I think basically the number one role is, I think you apply for data science, and I'm get a data science position, and another common title would be business analyst. And then for which type of firms? All the tech firms. They go work in the tech firms. They work in the finance firms. They go work in the entertainment field. All the different fields. When will you be able to complete the registration for courses from the fall semester? David, answer that one.
Hi, everybody. My name is David Ho. I'm the Director of Student Services. Thank you, Professor Vasuki. It's a tricky question because if you're an international student, I believe you're allowed to arrive 30 days prior to the start date of your term. And you can go ahead and take care of your I-20 passport verification. And at that point in time, once you arrive, you can go ahead and register for classes. I would also like to let newly admitted students know that we actually allot for the amount of students that we are going to admit. So we don't want you to worry that you're not going to be able to register for the courses that typically students register for in their first semester, which is required coursework. So we take into account those numbers. So again, we don't want students to panic because I realize we do see that numbers of registration are going up. But again, those are typically for courses for current students that are taking more electives, more courses that maybe have prerequisites for their programs. So that is the answer to that question.
Okay. So in terms of the Bachelor of Analytics, let me tell you what we have in terms of so anywhere from 125 to 150 students for the fall cohort, and for the spring cohorts, anywhere from 50 to 75. Now, I'll let you know for all the required courses in the fall, the core courses, because we want to make sure all our students don't have any problems registering. For the core required courses, we have 4 sections being offered for the core courses in fall. So you could do the math, figuring out that size of the cohort's 125, I would say. And then we have 4 sections in that. There's other students outside of analytics who takes the core courses for sure, but that's, so they could tell you a little bit about the kind of availability of the section. So one thing that's for sure is that we will get you the courses you're required for. So back to the student who asked about when do I register for the fall. In our planning, we reserve spaces for the incoming students. So current students are registering now, so they're filling up slots, but we save space, ensuring, because we know we kind of have a model, figuring out how many students we're going to anticipate in the fall. We make sure that there's space for them, and so they're not coming here and they're not buying the courses. That's just not something that happens. We ensure you that when you come in the fall, you'll be able to take the required courses. Because what we want to advise is take the required courses first, and we'll save that space for you. Okay, so this is so you've been admitted to both analytics and HM. I'd go back to what I said. If you're interested in just an analytics methodologies, then analytics is this. If you get a master's in analytics, can you work in the healthcare field? Of course. But it's easier if you have the health systems management stamp. So if you know for sure you want to, here's my question to you. You know for sure you want to work for health, and you want your methodology skill set to be more than just analytics, then health systems management engineering. If both those aren't true, then maybe the analytics degree is for you. That you know you want to focus just on analytics, and perhaps you want to work in an industry outside of healthcare. Okay. So the internship opportunities are really very much, they're there, they're 100% there, but they're cyclical in terms of the business cycle too, right? So as long as the businesses are hiring, our students will get internships. I mean, the fact is, another thing to compare us to Dartmouth, the fact that we're in LA and this is where the jobs are at, it makes it so much easier for our students. I mean, the recruiting is so much easier. I think that's really when Julie's mentioning location. Location is yes, it's a beautiful place. The weather is amazing. It's beautiful, but you can't forget location also plays a big role in terms of employment opportunities. Okay, so it's a very good question in terms of, I would say you would have the same base methodologies, but I would say you would have plus, because you would have exposure to optimization. I know many people in the tech industry who are doing kind of data science related. In fact, the person who gave us the gift to set up the center, he would argue, and he hires many of our students, he's a senior vice president there, he'd argue that optimization is just as important to know as machine learning if you want to do data science in the practice. So our students, applied data science student does not have a course on optimization. Business analytics does not. Another thing that our students will have more or less is, I think our program has more project-based courses than the other degrees, but definitely the optimization is the big plus, because our students will learn Python, R, and all that. Because quite frankly, is almost any job that you go apply for in this field, there will be, the employer will test you on those techniques. And so we make sure our students know them.
I think maybe there aren't any dual degree program students here, but I think, as we're recruiting, we
Oh.
often get asked about the
Okay.
rules and, do you get one degree from one department and then another?
Yeah, I did have some slides. Did I stop sharing? I did have some slides on dual degrees. I forgot. I knew I was short on time, so I kind of skipped them because I didn't have any on the slide. But we have so a lot of our engineering management programs have dual degrees with other engineering. So we have a number of students in that. So like students who are interested in taking a degree in electrical and computer engineering, and will also want to do a dual degree and pick up an engineering management degree, there's that. And so if you did each separately, you'd have to take, the total number of units for each together. But since you're doing it as a dual degree, you'd be able to count the electives in one degree into the other, and then therefore your total number of units. We also have a dual degree with the business school, the joint ISE MBA degree. And there, the total number of units is 66. 48, I believe, in the business school and 18 in ISE. I don't remember exactly, but somewhere along those lines. So basically, a business degree itself is 60 units, and if you add hours, it's 28. If you do each separately, my math is right, that's 88. And here, if you do them as a dual degree, you end up with 66 units. Okay, so we do have dual degrees, and they're obviously not as popular as our non-dual degrees opportunities, but they do exist.
And so for someone doing a dual degree and planning out their credits, they should just meet with their advisor, right, to help them with that?
David's the person. So if I take a left, the credits count for both degrees? Yes. Yes, then that's where you'd work with your advisor. That's if it's not something that's listed as a dual program, then we can't just create a dual degree on the fly, because we can't create degrees that aren't officially approved. Otherwise, the university won't approve it. Because at the end of the day, the university confers the degrees. It's not the individual units. So the link shared is already known to me. You mean what? I don't know which link was shared. I just want to know when the USC website will provide the date for the year 23. I don't know. What link?
That might have been for tuition, or maybe the start of the school year. But I think, as soon as those get published, they're going to be on the website. So I think the website is going to be the best place to look.
So I'll only answer that about the cost. How did the cost vary for dual degree? So graduate degree is you pay based on units. So you could figure out what the per unit cost is, and then just multiply it by the number of units you need. So if you know what the total cost is for a 28 unit program, and the dual degree is going to require 66, then you could that's going to translate on that kind of ratio. Can we talk to our advisor starting from now? Yes. David, if you have any questions, you're an admitted student. As far as we're concerned, feel free to send him an email and he'll schedule a time to talk to you.
And then the last question might be a good segue into the next part of our presentation, which is kind of the student panel. So that's asking about housing. And I think our current students are a great resource for housing. So David, I'm going to pass things over to you to kind of start this session.
Thank you, Julie, and thank you, Professor Dasuki. So I'm going to introduce you to our student panel. So we're going to start with Siddhi Jagtap, Gaji Kadam, Hannah Cho, and Vignesh Duri. And so we will get to your question about housing. The first thing I want to do is actually have these students introduce themselves. So if you could tell us, obviously we know your name, but major, hometown, and why you chose USC.
Sure, I can go first. Hi, everyone. I am Siddhi Jagtap. I am from Pune, India, and I'm doing my master's in engineering management. And as you are all talking about courses or certificates from Marshall, I'd like to say that I am pursuing one in supply chain from the Marshall School of Business. Why I chose USC? Because I really liked the curriculum here. It was in line with my aspirations. I did not want it to be too technical and wanted on more on the industrial engineering side. And also it's a great experience learning at the Marshall School. So I'll pass on to Gargi.
Hello, I'm Gargi. I'm also from Pune, India. I'm also doing my engineering management here. Why USC? As Dr. Majid said, it's in California. There's Marshall School of Business, and USC offers a great flexibility program between choosing my courses, not only taking courses from ISC, but also from Marshall School of Business. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
Hi, my name is Hannah. I'm a second semester master's student studying industrial and systems engineering. I chose USC for several reasons. One of the biggest reasons was that it's in LA, so there's a lot of opportunities that you can explore. The faculties, my professors are great. The curriculum and the resources available on campus is also really useful in studying.
I don't think Venus is here, so we'll actually come back to that question about housing. So ladies, if you could answer, how did you find housing? How did you find your roommates? Do you feel safe around campus?
So I am currently living off campus, so I accepted the seat quite late and couldn't get into the on-campus housing lottery. I think that the deadline's passed, but it was quite, I could say it was not that difficult for me to get an off-campus house. And about roommates, I think we had a group formed in India by the India admissions team, and through which I could connect with a lot of people from my program from the same hometown. So that was really helpful to get roommates.
I am also staying off campus. I had a long list of criteria that many people could not meet. I wanted a private room which was cheap. There was a lot of it, but yeah, it was quite a hassle. I found my roommates on Discord, which is kind of unusual. Luckily, we all get along very well, and yeah.
So I live off campus too, and I actually found my house, kind of room studio, on Facebook. I actually posted on USC Housing that I'm looking for how like specific, like I posted my requirements and the landlord contacted me, and I actually really like my place, so I encourage that joining the group.
Thank you. So academics, what are classes like? How demanding is the coursework? How was the adjustment to life at USC?
So the classes here are really interactive. There's a lot of communication. It's a two-way communication for all our classes. Especially, I could say Marshall classes are focused mostly on case studies. So that's a great thing. And yeah, if we could add on to it, Gargi.
So my track is the custom track, which is a variety of classes, not only from ISC, but also from Marshall. Marshall classes, like Siddhi said, are mostly case study oriented, group discussions, group projects, whereas ISC is more traditional learning, where there are a lot of assignments and hands-on, with more or less lecture oriented.
Since I'm an ISC major, I don't take any Marshall classes. But my experience with the classes so far, specifically with ISE, that's focused on lectures, homework, and sometimes exams, but there's still a lot of group project that you need to do. For example, quality management engineering, ISE 527, the whole semester, there was a group project involved. But if you want to focus on research or something small classes that you have like specific you want to focus on, for example, I'm taking ISE 505, which is like healthcare modeling, and it's a very small class and mostly discussion, reading paper, and a final presentation. So there's a variety of classes that you can take.
And so just being mindful of the time, I'm gonna ask our panel one more question, and then we'll just open up to the Q&A. What advice would you give for future Viterbi students?
That is a difficult one, Professor.
It's a good and
Um,
difficult question.
I know, right? I feel being a master student, we don't, coming from India, our courses or like our degrees were very, spread out and chill, where we could have time for to do everything. But here, you don't necessarily have the time to have a social life and focus on your academics. I would suggest coming here, you should make time not only for your academics, but also for a social life, to for your health, what Viterbi stands for.
Yeah, adding on to Gargi, I would also like to say academic is a lot and important. You need to focus, but to be successful in academic, you got to take care of yourself. Another aspect too, not just in Viterbi, but in grad school general, if you're a grad student.
Yeah, also about like specifically about engineering management, I could say we get a lot of tracks over here. So like I wasn't sure when I took admission for engineering management whether pursue product management, project management, or supply chain. So it kind of gets overwhelming when you start with the semester. So I'd suggest if you are specifically trying for engineering management, then have a vague idea at least about what you want to do. So you would start in that direction. So you can plan your courses, like if you want to take the supply chain track, plan the courses you want to take throughout 2 years, or for project management or product management. So that planning would help you through those classes as well.
So I'd like to answer the question about the class time. So there's not many classes that end in the majority. So some do end at 9:30, but there's not many. And the students can talk about how they, one of the concerns is how do people go home during that time. A lot of our students live close to campus, so the security all over, there's people, monitoring all the main roads and even the side streets. And also, if you're really concerned, there's a campus cruiser that you can call to take you home if you want. Now, if you don't live close to campus, the question is if you drive to campus, there's on parking's it's inside the campus, so there's the security, and all the parking and so on. If you take public transit outside 9:30, I don't know. I'll leave that to the students and see if there's. I don't really know how many students would take public transit to campus. I'd leave that up to the students to answer that. Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, sure. So there are some classes which end late, like maybe maximum around 9 or 9ish. So we do have the free lift. So most of us use that. And it's quite safe if you live in the DPS zone, and you can use the free lift anytime you want after 6. And now we also have the USC shuttle, I think till 10 p.m. So it's quite safe, even if we have late classes.
Dave, I'll pass it back to you. I just wanted to, because I knew that was a question that might be of concern to a lot of the prospective students.
So again, I don't know how much time we have, but we can take a few Q&A questions from the chat. I would say for off-campus housing, you can look on the USC Housing website. For first term, we recommend you enroll in 8 units. You know, one of the things that Professor Dasuki mentioned was that, you know, with the new 28 proposed curriculum, students will have the option to graduate in as little as 1 full academic year. And then you can also graduate in 2 years. But I would say, again, taking 2 classes, getting off to a good start is reasonable. For the students, did you receive any scholarships for your respective program? If so, how did you obtain them and how easy or difficult was it?
I do not have a scholarship.
Yeah, even I applied after the scholarship deadline, so I wasn't eligible for getting one.
Me neither, sorry.
I'm not quite sure of the first question. If I have to pursue engineer degree after master's degree, what are some requirements I should be thinking about?
Okay, so I can answer that. So the engineering degree is a degree that's in between the PhD and the master's. And it requires, okay, so it doesn't require a thesis, but it requires a project. So basically, it is basically taking more master's level courses. Okay, so basically, I don't think you have to do anything differently. It just seems that if you want to pick up a master engineering degree, continue your studies, you just simply take more courses and then you line up a faculty advisor who could complete a project with you. So the main difference between that and a thesis is it doesn't have to be a pure a research project as a thesis is. Now, the thesis is all about creating new knowledge that hasn't been done before. An engineering project could be much more development type project.
Someone is asking if the work-life balance leans excessively towards the work side, that is, our academics extremely grindy. I feel that comes up with any kind of master's degree, that the academics are going to be more, I don't want to say consuming, but more difficult than they were for your undergrad. So you have to be ready for that.
So if you look at it, think about your undergraduate degree. Most of the time you took more than 8 units, right? In the master's degree, your first semester you're going to take 8 units. So it tells you a little bit the level of depth that the courses are going to be taught at graduate school. But that's good, right? Because that means you want to expand your skill set to make yourself more marketable.
Yeah, and to add on to that, for me, undergrad felt like studying. Now it feels more like doing something I like. So, you know, you wouldn't really feel drained out, but you'll act if you really like the course that you're taking, it'll be fun for you. I promise.
So I can answer, Julie?
Go right ahead, David.
Okay. I can answer the next question. So can we interchange between den and on campus if we were accepted to be on campus? So I think for domestic students, the answer is yes. You just have to go through the base office and Viterbi graduate admission to do that. If you are an international student, unfortunately, no. And again, you can correct me on that, Julie, if I'm incorrect.
You're correct.
Would that be true if they go back to their country though? Let's say they switch, but they go back to their country. Would they be allowed to make this to
Go ahead.
If they go back to their home country, then yes, they could potentially complete the program as an online student. We've had that be the case when, you know, there have been cases where international students had to leave the country for a variety of reasons, and they were allowed to finish as an online.
yeah.
Another case would be is if you're if you find an internship in your final semester and you have one course remaining, we ask that you take a course that has a DEN section, Distance Education Network section tied to it, and then we can kind of convert you over to DEN. But again, the key is it has to be one course. And again, it has to have an online section, just because if your internship is outside of the LA area, more than likely, you're not going to be able to come into campus, or maybe your employer is not going to be as flexible with you. So we just ask, again, in your final semester, just register for a course that has a DEN option.
Yeah, and David brings up a really good point about, going through the proper steps and kind of talking with that base advisor and making sure that you do convert to a DEN student. Because if a lot of the courses are available online, even if you're on campus, you can watch the lectures later, but you do want to go through the proper steps, because you don't want your faculty member to believe that you're an on-campus student and you're not participating and things like that. So definitely go through the proper steps. Okay, well, I just appreciate this whole ISC team. Thank you so much. And thank you for staying a little bit later. And for the students that are here with us, thank you for staying the entire time too. I'm just really excited to welcome everybody and hope that we do see you in the fall. All righty, fight on.
Right on.
Right on.